I hate ties. Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm Joy, that's Steve, and we're here with our NFL predictions versus if for week 11.
Hey Joey, how's it going?
It's going. It
Yeah,
goes. How it goes with
yeah,
you?
it's going here too.
Alright, that's good. So, as the intro stated, we had our first tie of the season. And of course, it was my Lions, but I'm pleased.
Yeah,
They didn't lose, which is
true,
a perk.
true,
And it was another bit of proof that special teams is actually very important. So,
true. So obviously they won't go 0-17 there this
exactly,
season.
that is a positive. That is indeed the positive that came out of last week, because our records certainly didn't. You want to
Oh,
review?
okay. We'll start with you. You finished 5-8-1,
Blah.
and for me it was a 6-7-1, and this week's big winner is John, of course, with 7-6-1.
Yeah, John kind of smoked us a little bit. His alone games were very, very helpful. So that brings us up to a very evenly tiered standings of me with 101, 48 and 1. This is going to bother me the entire season, and I'm already triggered. John in second with 95, 54 and 1. And then Steve with 89, 60 and 1. I kind of hope that there's another tie just so we can have an and 2. But we'll see how that goes. So what would your regret and game of the week be? I already have mine locked in from last week, but
Yeah. My regret would be the Carol Arizona Carolina game.
yeah, I can see that. The only trouble with that is that we did the predictions prior to Mr. Newton deciding to go back. So
True.
we didn't know they were going to even have a QB.
Yeah, true there. But my favorite moments when Cam Newton scored on his first touchdown. He ripped off his helmet and screamed, "I'm back!"
Yeah, that thing got memed heavily on the
Yeah.
Twitterverse. It was fun.
Hmm.
It was one of these things like
Hmm.
a person you can't hear images. Me shows image of Cam Newton screaming. It's
Yeah.
like I hear this, but yeah, I mean, this seemed like a good game. What would your game of the week be?
Yeah. Oh, uh, not too much to pick from there.
I
So,
know, yeah.
yeah, mine would be, let me see here. The Titans, they're scraping by the Saints there.
Yeah, the Saints had a decent comeback, as if I recall, in that game because they were down heavily. If my memory serves, if it doesn't, then troll. You can feel free
Yeah.
to go ahead and correct me in the comments because I'm sure you were aware of the game. But that was a good game for me. My game of the week is probably going to be Detroit and Pittsburgh because nobody expected Detroit to come in there and actually play well, and they fought tooth and nail for
True.
every
Yeah.
point.
On, yeah. But on top of that, there the Steelers were playing without Big Ben there because he got put into the Pepsi protocol there,
Yeah, yeah, he
so they had
was
to
he was
rely on
out.
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph, who's not a horrible QB, so it wasn't bad. And I believe TJ Watt got a little bit injured. He's not like out, but he was wounded a bit during
Yeah.
that game, which definitely helped. But the Lions had that one
Mhm.
won if we would have had a kicker that could aim at all.
Mhm.
So
True.
that would have been a really good upset. My
Yeah.
regret of the
Yeah.
week.
But yeah. Yeah. But with the while I was watching NFL Red Zone, instead of going to the late games, they were stuck on this their game in overtime there.
I mean, it was a very interesting game. It was the only overtime game of the week, and the fact that it ended in a tie. I mean, you kind of got to see that thing through.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just leave now.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so as I was saying for last week, my regret of the week, if it didn't pan out, was going to be Cleveland at New England. And
You're probably doubting.
it didn't pan out, and I'm regretting not trusting myself with Mac Jones at home, because I bought into the fact that they're not good at home, because the only win that they had at home was against the Jets, and no one really counts that as a victory. But
True.
I trusted in Mayfield, and my history with Mayfield should have told me not to.
True.
And I did it anyway. And then they lost 45-7. So
To the Patriots.
yeah, to the Patriots at New England, which they're not good at home, but apparently they are now. So that's a big time regret for me, because I had a feeling, and I knew that it was going to be a split, so I should have gone with my gut on that and went with the Patriots on that one, but I didn't. And then my secondary one that I didn't previously lock in would actually be the Bucks and Washington, because I said in the video that it's upset potential, and that Washington might just have their numbers since they beat them last year, almost beat them last year in the playoffs, that this would be the time to do it. And then lo and behold, they do. So I had a really good upset call, and I missed it because I was afraid of going against Brady, because I didn't want to look stupid. But so that one kind of snuck up on me. I'm sad, because that would have been a really good alone game. But
True.
it happens.
True.
All right, so shaking off a horrible, horrible week, we are ready to dive into week 11, if you are.
Absolutely. But to start with, we only have two teams on the bye week there. We have the Denver Broncos, and we have the all-star team of the LA Rams, which faltered to the Niners.
Yeah. All-star team who can't seem to get all their power together to actually put forth a win against a freaking division rival when they're supposed to.
True. And OBJ was doing his best LeBron James impersonation there, leaving Cleveland to go to LA and lose. My apologies to Laker fans.
Yeah. Honestly, though, you're not wrong. And they should have known better than to get somebody who was only going to be there for the sake of trying to get a ring anyway.
Yeah.
He just wanted to hop on the power bandwagon and see what he could do, and now that he's lost, maybe he'll be regretting his decisions. We'll see. Freaking diva. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on. We are starting off week 11 with the aforementioned Patriots. I dislike everything about this. Going to Atlanta.
True. Yeah. Obviously, Mac Jones was the big winner last week. They're clobbering Baker Mayfield and the Browns there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what Matt Ryan's big record there in its home against the Patriots there, but ever since that Super Bowl there where he blew that big lead there to the Patriots there,
he's never been the same.
Yeah, true.
He has never been the same. It was like a, what was it, 28-3?
Yeah.
28-3 in the Super Bowl, and then the defense let up in the second half and allowed New England to come back.
True.
One of the saddest yet most amazing days.
True. Yeah, but obviously I'm not going to get fooled by the Patriots and Belichick and Mac Jones there. I expect them to beat the Falcons there.
Yeah, the idea that this is kind of like a bit of a revenge game for Matt Ryan is very intriguing, and it's very tempting, but I refuse to fall for the trap.
Yeah.
Absolutely refuse. So I am in agreement, and I'm going with New England with a minor hope that I'm wrong, because I like Matt Ryan, and I really want him to shake this this choking thing off. But I don't know. I don't see it this week.
No.
All right, Sunday. This should be interesting. We have the Colts at the Bills.
True there. Yeah, obviously, Colts are turning stuff around lately there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, who were they playing last week there? I forget.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville there, yeah.
But the trouble with that is that they only won, 23-17?
Yeah.
Against Jacksonville, of all teams? Like, you allowed them to score 17 points, so...
True. They got to make up for their mistakes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully... But unfortunately, it won't be this week there because they're playing the Bills at home, and you know how the Bill fans are.
Mm-hmm.
Mad out team.
Bills Mafia.
Yeah, true.
They are one of the most hilarious fan bases. I adore them.
True. That's why I'm this week going to take the Bills to beat the Colts there.
I agree. I'm going with the Bills just because they're a lot more high-powered than the teams that the Colts have faced prior. And if the Colts defense can't stop Jacksonville, I don't see how they're going to be able to stop Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, conversely, though, Buffalo also lost to Jacksonville and didn't muster any kind of points. So do with that little knowledge nugget what you will.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, and I'm taking the Bills as well.
Okay.
All right, next up we have the Ravens, who I really, really hope win this one, at the Bears.
Yeah, obviously, the Bears, they're coming off a bye week there to rest their bones there.
Yup. But they have to host the Ravens, so it's not really. I don't know how much it's going to help them to be off for a week.
Yeah, but on top of that, the Ravens, they're really struggled last week against the Dolphins there.
That is true. And that was a really fun game. It was a really good upset.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Beegers and I were talking that same night. We just randomly started DMing each other on Twitter, and we were both very confused with how the game went down. He didn't really have much to say about the Ravens losing. He was confused, I was confused. But this could be a good redemption week.
True. Hopefully for the Ravens there. That's why I'm picking them to beat Chicago there. Then your famous Twitter hashtag, frick the Bears.
Indeed, I agree. Just get rid of that photo right now because absolutely not. I'm going to take Baltimore as well. The only thing that bothers me with this one is Mac with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Because you know that Baltimore is going to try to run it immediately. They're going to try to run all over the Bears, and the Bears' run defense isn't that bad considering they have Mac on the line. It's just going to be how much the Bears are going to be able to produce offensively for me, and I'm hoping it's not much. But I have a feeling I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
Either way, I think I'm going to be upset. So, we'll see. All right, next up we have the Browns and their dog pound welcoming in the Lions.
Yeah. Like I said there, the Lions there last week there was in that humorous tie there.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of game that was there.
A fun one.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a really good battle between two teams who just didn't seem to want to win.
Yeah.
It was really, really fun to watch. The place kicking is a problem. Because they would have won by one had Santa, whatever his name is, actually gotten the extra point.
True. But hopefully Baker Mayfield can recover from his injury injury, and on top of that, there that huge loss to the Patriots there.
Yeah, it was an embarrassment, is what that was. But the thing with that is Mayfield is injured, and so is Jared Goff. So both
Yeah,
QBs are
true.
injured. Baker Mayfield is expected to play because apparently he's like that, and we're expecting
Yeah,
Jared Goff to not,
true.
mainly because people don't want him to. Because
True.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think they're saying that Boyd is supposed to start, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
true. There. With me this week, I think I'm going to go the Browns, and hopefully we don't end up in another hilarious tie game there.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with it. If they want to tie the rest of the season, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
And I'd be all for it, to be honest. Ruin everybody else's records and schedules and predictions, and
yeah,
just play spoiler. That's your only role right now, is just to play spoiler. But I agree.
yeah.
I'm taking the Browns as well, because you can't just predict a tie. But
Mm,
yeah, I think they're gonna run over Detroit's defense,
yeah,
regardless of if Baker is all that healthy or not. So
true.
unfortunately, I'm going with the Browns, even though they didn't do well for me last week. They're also
Yeah,
facing Detroit instead of New England. So
yeah, true.
all right, this one should be a no-brainer. We have the Texans at the Titans.
Yeah, this one is a no doubter there.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
fair.
yeah,
Let's just get rid of this right now. Bop.
yeah.
Tennessee.
Hmm. Agree.
Agreed. Another rival matchup. We have Green Bay at Minnesota. Much more interesting than the last one was.
Yeah, true there. Yeah, the both quarterbacks, shockingly, you might not agree with me, are real good ones for the in the NFC North there. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers and Packers there, and Kirk Cousins and the Vikings there.
I I would say that Kirk Cousins is the second best QB in the division.
True.
I would have to. I'm not dumb. I would have to agree
Yeah.
with that. I don't like it. I still don't
Yeah.
think that he's any good, but compared to the other competition in the division right now, he is there.
Yeah. Miles behind Aaron Rodgers, obviously.
Yes, obviously. I just wasn't gonna say it, but yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Obviously, him coming back from the Pepsi protocol there only made him stronger there when they beat Seattle there.
Yeah, I was upset about that, but I also feel like he came back earlier than I expected him to. Like I
Mhm.
thought that the protocol was 2 weeks, and he was only out for one,
Yeah.
so I was a little confused. And then the
Yeah.
whole, NFL not really finding him in the league all that much, and there
Yeah.
wasn't really a whole lot that happened from his negligence. So it's
Mhm.
just more of the same.
Yeah. Well, with this game there, I'm going to expect it'll be a real close one, maybe a field goal or less there with this one. So, and I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers will survive there against the Vikings.
I agree. I kind of hope that it is close, but for what it's worth, I do hope that Minnesota upsets Green Bay, because they're a less hateable team,
Hmm.
in my opinion. But I agree with you, and I'm taking the Packers as well.
Hmm.
This one gave me some pause earlier on in the day, just because of who's supposed to be starting QB for them. We have Miami at the Jets.
True there. Who's there for the Jets there? Is it the White or are they going with Flacco?
They are, I believe, going with Flacco. That was the last I heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he didn't do too bad last week there.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I
Even
mean,
though,
personally, I kind of like White more.
yeah,
I think that he's younger, scrappier, more hungry.
yeah, but and then the Dolphins there, they got lucky against the Ravens there.
I don't know if I would call it luck. I think they came to play, they had more to prove, and they they were more hungry for the win.
true,
And Baltimore
yeah,
took them lightly.
yeah. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett had to lead the game early, and then they had to bring in Tua
Yep.
there.
And Tua was enough to carry them over. He had to step up. Now he's still kind of injured. I think he's still dealing with some nagging injuries, but Brissett is not going to be able to go. So
True. Yeah.
Tua
But
has to.
with this week there, I think I'm going to go a little bit of an upset this week. I think the Jets at home can beat the Dolphins.
I think they can. I didn't go with them, but I do think that you're right, and I think that they can. So we have our first split here because I'm trusting in Tua.
Okay.
And with their performance last week, it's kind of hard to not, buy into the excitement a little bit because they played really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
So we split on this one. I was a little bit surprised, but I think that it's a very good upset pick for you. So we'll see how that works.
Okay.
All right, next one we have the Saints, secondary home team, going to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Obviously, Saints didn't do too bad there. Made close with the Tennessee Titans there.
Yeah, they made it a really close game. I appreciated that.
Yeah. And the Eagles obviously beating the Denver Broncos last week there.
Yeah, I'm mad about that one because I should have known better than to trust Denver. But I bought into Denver and their hype when they beat Dallas. So
Yeah. Yeah. But I think Trevor Simeon, Taysom Hill might pull this one out of the fire there, and they'll beat the Eagles there.
I agree. I believe that John went with Philly on this one, expecting it to be an alone game. He was playing for that.
Yeah.
So we agree with New Orleans, and then we split with him on the Philly thing. But I'm trusting New Orleans defense, and I'm hoping that Kamara comes back.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then Ingram should be good enough to help carry that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Washington at Carolina with a tiny reunion of Cam and Ron Rivera.
Yeah, this one's going to scream revenge game there.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know.
Yeah, because of Cam really wants to stick it to Ron Rivera for letting them go there the first time there.
Yep, no doubt.
Yeah, and obviously the Washington football team's going to be a little different because they lost Chase Young for the season there with a torn ACL.
Yeah, losing Young is really, really going to hamper them going forward. So I had high hopes for them early on in the season, but this is a really hard injury to combat.
Yeah, true there. Yeah, and obviously Carolina's got a stronger team, not only Cam there, but with Christian McCaffrey there running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I expect this week there Cam's going to get his ultimate revenge there against Ron Rivera there and beat the Washington football team.
I agree. I kind of can see the other scenario happening where Ron Rivera knows Cam well enough to coach around him.
Yeah.
And knows his weaknesses and knows how to, what kind of blitz package would work best against him. But I think that having both Cam and McCaffrey back is really going to help a lot. So I'm also taking Carolina. But the only reason that I went with Carolina was because Washington lost Chase Young.
Yeah.
Had they still had their defensive core, I would have gone with Washington 100%.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Jacksonville hosting the 49ers.
Yeah, obviously Niners coming off a big high there by beating the Rams there on Monday night there.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. My Discord server was elated just talking about the Rams losing finally.
Mm-hmm.
We were all kind of happy to see it happen, and then at the same time I was a little sad because, Stafford, of course, but the fact that it happened right after OBJ, I'm thrilled.
True. like I said, he thinks he's pulling LeBron James there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we're going to both be in agreement this week there and take the Niners.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing on that is still the whole QB. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it doesn't
Right.
matter. Either way, they're beating Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. Jacksonville is surprising some people, but I don't think it's going to happen this week.
No,
All right,
not this week.
this game here, this was the last game that I predicted this week because it's so close. And when I looked on ESPN, because that's usually where I go to get my schedule and all that stuff for the week,
Yeah.
they were split 50-50
Okay.
on their predictions. So I'm concerned. We have
Okay.
Cincinnati at Vegas.
Yeah. Uh, this one there, I don't know how Burrow and Trey Lane and that wide receiver there
Jamar Chase.
combination there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how they would do coming out of a bye week there.
Mm.
So yeah, and the Raiders coming off a loss to the Chiefs there, which is many predicted that there.
Yeah, we
So
expected that. We expected as much. The turmoil of the Raiders definitely isn't helping any.
yeah,
And the Bagels coming off of a bye is what swayed me in my decision. Because typically I go with the home team when I can't
yeah,
decide. But I
right,
would take Joe Mixon, who is a runner that I enjoy, and then Burrow and Chase off the bye. I'm trusting them.
okay. So I imagine we'll have a split game this week because I'm taking the Raiders at home to beat the Bengals.
Yep, I was anticipating this one being a split, honestly, with it being as close as it was on everyone else's prediction sheet. And then John
Uh-huh.
and I were saying too that this was the last game that we predicted because it was way too close to call. It's essentially a
Yeah,
coin flip, but I'm
yeah,
trusting the rest off the bye over the home advantage.
yeah, yeah.
All right, this one I also predicted really late. It was the Cowboys at the Chiefs.
Yeah, obviously, the Cowboys coming off a huge win last week to the lonely Falcons. There,
Yeah,
they murdered them.
they dominated
Yeah,
every facet or
yeah,
faucet if you're somebody else.
yeah. Obviously, Dak and Ezekiel and Murray Cooper there,
Hmm.
their defense there.
Yeah, it was definitely a defensive win. I think they gave their DC the game ball too, which was really cool.
Yeah, but this one's going to be won't be a blowout heading into Kansas City there because
Mm-mm.
Chiefs they're obviously coming off the win over the Raiders there.
Yeah,
They're put them back in first place in the AFC West there.
which they needed because I mean honestly, I still think that they're overrated for their talent pool,
Yeah,
but I don't know. There's a lot of that going
yeah,
around the league.
yeah. I'm predicting this one's going to be a close game there. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in Arrowhead there.
Supposed to be like 55 and overcast, I think. 55 and partly sunny.
Yeah, I was worried there. It might the weather might be frigid conditions there.
I hope so. I love playing
Yeah,
snowball.
yeah,
That's
sure.
always fun.
But, I think this one's going to be a under 7 point game there, and I think maybe Dallas there holds on by the skin of their teeth and will beat the Chiefs there.
You know, I have a very, very funny feeling that you're right, but I took the Chiefs in this one because
Okay,
again, it was a coin flip, and I decided to go for the home field advantage.
okay,
Plus, their strength of opponents has seemed better to me than Dallas.
yeah.
So hopefully, I'm not surprised at all that we had splits on these two games because those were the ones that were the hardest to pick.
Yeah, true.
All right, next up we have an NFC West battle with Arizona at Seattle.
Yeah. I don't know what Arizona's quarterback situation there. There's rumors that Kyler Murray
Mm-hmm.
might come back there for this one there.
Yeah.
Hopefully his leg is doing better there.
Yeah. Both Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are listed as questionable.
Yeah.
But they're not out. So if he plays, I think they have a much better chance of winning this week.
True there, and obviously Colt McCoy is a no-go there.
Yeah.
If they have a backup plan there. So.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously Russell Wilson coming back from that finger injury there didn't do too bad, even though he got shut out there to the Packers.
Yeah, but I mean, they were facing a really strong team, and it was on the road as well, which he's historically not good in Green Bay.
True there. So hopefully it'll get better for him this week, because my pick this week is going to go with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
All right, we split again. I can see them winning his first game back at home, but I still think that Arizona is just really, really powerful on defense, and if Seattle struggled against Green Bay's defense, I think they're going to have a hard time with Arizona's as well. So my pick is the Cardinals on the road, and I hope that Murray plays, because if he doesn't, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
But we shall see. All right, we have next up the Sunday night game, the still Roethlisberger-less Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, will be going to LA to take on the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the Chargers last week. They're losing to the Vikings out of all teams there.
Well, I mean, we said earlier that the Vikings aren't that bad because Kirk Cousins is one of the better QBs in the division, so it wasn't a huge shock.
Yeah.
Considering Minnesota's not bad. I believe Joey Bosa is also out for LA. So I don't know if that's going to sway any kind of decisions or if that was a factor. But
and Pittsburgh, as you say, they're been again there with the Pepsi protocol there.
And I'm not sure what the status is on TJ Watt, but he's probably going to play, which is good because I do enjoy him.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think this week I'm going to go with the home team there, and I think the Justin Herbert and Chargers hopefully can turn around there against Steelers there.
I agree.
Like I said before, hopefully it won't end up in another tie.
I agree. Again, with pretty much all of that, I don't anticipate this one tying, but I do think that the Chargers are going to have to step up and take this one based on how their past weeks have been going, because they're losing their grip on the division quickly. So they need to step up, and this is a good team to do it against because they're damaged.
Yeah.
So as long as you can stop the run, you pretty much got this, I think. All right, final game. We have the Giants, who I believe are coming off of a bye, going to Tampa. The very angry Tampa for losing to Washington. And Brady always does play well when he's angry.
True. Hopefully they come up with a brand new game plan, because the game plan against the Washington football team was a dud.
I mean, they need their players. You know, they need to actually have them healthy and ready to go.
So, hopefully, Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown come.
Yeah, I mean, and defensively too.
Injuries soon.
I think Sherman was out as well. So defensively, they're the walking wounded. Not that you really need a huge defensive stand against someone like New York, but it would always help.
Sure. So obviously, I bet you will be in agreement with this one there, and take the Bucks.
Yeah, 100%. Going with Tampa on that one, just because, like I said, it's New York, and I don't mind Daniel Jones, really. He has his hilarious moments, like, when he trips himself and stuff like that. But then he also
Yeah,
has moments where he comes out of nowhere and leads the charge and makes comebacks happen. But
true,
I don't think that's going to happen against this one unless Tampa is still hurt
true,
and
true.
can't seem to muster up anybody to go on field.
Exactly. And I can't wait to see Eli Manning there on Monday night. They're wondering what's wrong with the Giants there. Telling
Do
it to his brother Peyton there.
Probably, yeah. Do they know who the guest for that week is going to be yet? Because have you heard about the Manning curse?
No, I never there.
All right,
But I really like the one there this past Monday there with Al Michaels, Phil Mickelson, Draymond Green, and Phil Rivers there. That
okay. That was
that
nice.
was my up there this past Monday.
That's a good blend. So they don't have any currently active players that were on that
True.
on the show. That's good because now the curse can't come into play.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's been a really cool stat.
Obviously, they were asking Phil Mickelson there about their golf swings there.
Because talking about the NFL games is the best spot to do that with.
Yeah.
It is interesting that they would bring him on to begin with,
Yeah.
given it's an NFL show, but
Yeah. True.
sports stars always tend to find themselves coming together. But
True.
that concludes it. Here are John's picks, popping those up on screen, just because he's the only other one that's kind of playing along with us, so I wanted to show those off as well.
Okay.
He split with the Chiefs with you. The Eagles. He took the Eagles.
Okay.
He went Seahawks, so he agrees with you. And then he split as well with the Bengals game.
Okay.
And everything else seems pretty much on par. So
Okay.
we are all really even based on how this is going to go.
Mhm.
But I'm excited and scared, to be honest.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
that does it for week 11. Hopefully we actually at least get 500
Yeah.
this
true
time,
there.
because sub 500 was not good.
No, nobody likes that.
It wasn't fun.
No.
So
Obviously, everyone there, please like and subscribe our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can tune in to when our videos pop up.
yep, every Thursday and Wednesday for next week because we have Thanksgiving. So that'll be a Wednesday morning, hopefully, if I can actually edit things down. Pressure's on. And then also links down below to my Discord server, my Twitter, my merch membership, should you be so interested. And also let us know down in the comments what your picks are, what kind of upsets you're expecting, and we will catch you next week for week 12 of the NFL predictions versus.
Thank you all. See you next week.